Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Chris. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a video talking about the fragrances that I have let go in my fragrance collection. I am still planning on doing the highly requested video. You guys always want to see my collection. I'm planning on doing it sometime this summer. I have to get kind of my act together and get everything in one place. But in order to do that, I need to let go of perfumes that I just haven't been wearing. And as a content creator, a part of the job is to show you guys new fragrances, what's coming up. And I won't be able to do that if I just hold on to perfumes that I don't wear. There's not enough money or room in my house in order to do that. So I'm going to talk about, I think, about 20 perfumes that I have let go over the past maybe 3 or 4 months. I haven't done a declutter video in a long time. Some of these you've never even heard me talk about. And others, the reasons why I'm decluttering is I have something that's just too similar, or again, I haven't worn it in over a year. So I went online and Mercari and wrote down some of the names. Now I'm not going to be able to tell you everything. This will have to be like a part 1 of part 2 or 3 because I've been decluttering several fragrances over the past 6 months or so, but we're going to start with about maybe 20 to 22 today. I'm like, wow, I just filmed 2 videos and I have my makeup done. I might as well do another video. Listen guys, I don't wear makeup on the regular and it doesn't look like much on camera with all these bright lights, but trust me, I've got a lot of makeup on. So I'm just going to start with, I just wrote it down. The first one I have written down, and I'm going to have to pull up some of the notes because I can't memorize fragrances. I can't memorize the notes of fragrances that I don't have or don't wear. Okay, so the first one I decluttered, and I decluttered this pretty rapidly, is called Will Be Love by Epico. I bought this blindly. This was back in my aggressive blind buying stage. I don't do as much. I'm much better. I don't think I'll ever be to the point where I never blind buy. There's always the temptation, and sometimes the temptation just proves to be so great. I am working on it and it's getting much better, but it's much better than it used to be. But when I see a perfume that has notes I love, sometimes I just get all whipped up into a frenzy. So the first one is Will Be Love. I bought that because it had milk cream. I'm going to show you a picture of the notes. And based on the notes, I'm like, this is a Chris fragrance. It's got milk cream, it's got caramel, vanilla, we have coconut, you know, fruits. It just seemed like the perfect fragrance for me. And when I got it, I was absolutely shocked. There was nothing gourmand about it whatsoever. I got like a salty coconut water. I got a salty coconut water with a little bit of patchouli. And I think the salt was coming from the ambergris. It was very salty. At least it pulled that way on me. I wasn't getting any creaminess. I wasn't getting anything. It was not a gourmand at all on me. And maybe just a little bit. Oh, I got a lot of the elemi too. It was like an ambergris elemi with a little bit of sweetness in the background. That's just the way it pulled on me. Very musky. The musky was strong. Anyways, that one went. I strongly recommend if you are looking at those notes and think it's going to be a gourmand, test it first. I did not. The second one is called For Your Love. Now this is a very pretty perfume and you've never seen me talk about it here on my channel. And it's not because I didn't like it. I think it's a very pretty perfume. I just never wore it ever. So this is another one that had a pretty strong ambergris. So it's a musky, salty raspberry perfume, very airy. It has a resemblance to Baccarat 540, but that to me, I liked it much better. There was just something in For Your Love that came off sour on me, and I'm looking at the notes. I can't think of anything other than like an ambergris, which does pull very salty on me. But I just found that even though it was pretty, it was another one I blind bought that I just never wore it. I bought it on sale at So Avant-Garde and I just never wore it. It's been over a year since I purchased that perfume. You've never seen it here because I don't wear it. So that one went by. So the next 2 were fragrances I bought because, well, the next one I bought because I heard it was Angelina Jolie's signature scent. That's kind of a stupid reason to buy a perfume, but I did. And it's called 1969 Parfum de Revolte. And this one has, the notes kind of screamed a little bit vintage, like 1990s to me, because it had, or it's early 2000s, it had a lot of peach. Peach was really the 90s now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, I didn't own a ton of fragrances in the 90s. I was young, but, for sure. But peach was a big note. And I don't mind peach, but it had peach. It has peach clove, chocolate patchouli, coffee, cardamom, another one that I bought blindly. And it was very interesting. I don't have anything that smells like that, but it just turned out to me, it just wasn't a love. The peach was on the rotting side. It just was not this juicy, yummy peach that I wanted. The peach was almost like necrotic and way past its prime. So rancid, so like a rancid peach. And then you add cloves and patchouli. The patchouli was very, very earthy, like dirt. Dirty patchouli like dirt. So, and I didn't get a ton of chocolate, so that went goodbye. Similarly, I bought one called Musk because I heard it was Brad Pitt's signature scent. And that fragrance is a good one, but it had this nice, classy vibe to it, a little bit of geranium, some musk, a little bit of rose, a little bit of aromatics. I think that was a very, very nice, classy fragrance. It just wasn't for me, and I don't think it was anything Pat was going to be interested in, and I bought it literally because, for another stupid reason, because that was Brad Pitt's signature scent, and I was interested to see what it smelled like, but that was kind of a silly reason to buy a perfume and a silly reason to keep the perfume. So that found a new home. A very nice fragrance. You're not going to be smelling like anybody coming and going. You're just going to be smelling clean, fresh, and classy, in my opinion. So the next one was by Boucheron, a house that I love, called Rose de Sparta. Boy, I didn't really want to. It was by Sonia Constant. She's a really good nose. I don't want to give that up. But so the notes in here are rose, saffron, vanilla, incense, cinnamon, all the things that I love in a fragrance. And even though I thought it was nice, didn't really remind me of anything in particular, I just could not smell that. I could not smell it. I mean, I just had poor longevity on me, and I just found myself never reaching for it, even though, for like the first 20 to 30 minutes, I thought it was a nice spicy rose. But that one ended up going. So the next one, turning off my phone, is was called Wish Come True. It is an incense fragrance, and I love incense fragrances. I don't think I ever declutter incense fragrances unless, there'll be one coming up, unless they're just too similar to other things I already have. So Wish Come True by Stéphane Humbert Lucas was a very, very interesting perfume. And the reason why I kept it as long as I did, even though I never wore it, is because I really appreciate its uniqueness. Uniqueness is a hard thing to come by oftentimes in fragrances. Perfumes tend to kind of run together. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do really appreciate it when something stands out on its own. That one did. It was another very salty, there's a theme here, that had ambergris, so it was a salty floral incense, a lot of ylang ylang. I'm pretty sure that was the flower. So the florals, that ylang ylang with incense, with smokiness, with that saltiness, that salty, musky, ambery thing going on. I felt like the notes just never went together. I just felt like they were constantly clashing, and it was something I had to be really careful with wearing. It was going to be too overpowering, too much on a hot day. So I don't think I had worn it in like 2 years, so I had to let that one go, even though I think it was a really good, very interesting, unique take on an incense. The next one was Fragrance Du Bois. I'm decluttering some Fragrances Du Bois. I've been decluttering Fragrance Du Bois fragrances. I've fallen out of love for many of them. The next one was New York Fifth Avenue, a really pretty fragrance, Rose Caramel. I wanted it for the Rose Caramel, but the oud just pulled too strong on me. And it wasn't a skanky oud, it wasn't a stinky oud, it was just a strong oud. The oud was strong. Well done, but strong. So I just found that I was trying to force myself to wear it. It's a great fragrance to wear in the cold, but it was never something I wanted to pull for. It was something I felt like I needed to wear it because I'd spent a lot of money on it, and it was a nice, well-made fragrance, but it's just, I never loved it. I never loved that perfume, so that one finally left. The next one is called Morhoff. This one left quickly, another blind buy. I love many in the line. I'm pretty sure it was called Morhoff. That's what I have written down. And the notes looked very pretty. You know, it was like a rose, a sweet rose, woody fragrance. Oh my Lord, there's oud in that fragrance, and it just smelled like burnt tar. It was horrible. Fuel, gasoline, burnt tar. Got rid of it immediately, even though the bottles are very, very pretty in the line and they're not very expensive. That one which came in and left. The next one to go was Herod. Now, I think Herod's a beautiful fragrance. It's a spicy, tobacco-y, vanilla fragrance that I absolutely loved. However, I've said before many, many times, it is so incredibly similar to Divine Vanille, which I had first. I had that before I even started my channel, by, I think it's Essential Parfums. Divine Vanille is beautiful. They're made by the same creator, I want to say Olivier Pichot. And they literally were just too similar. Neither of those has amazing performance. But I felt more loyal to Divine Vanille because I had it longer. And I actually think that the longevity on Herod on me was not very good at all. So Divine Vanille is an excellent, I've said it before, an excellent alternative, more affordable alternative to Herod if you like that note, you know, profile. It's about half the price, but a very good fragrance I did let go. The only other incense fragrance I let go was called Vanagloria. I love that perfume. You guys know I love perfume, and it was in my fragrances that smell very similar or good alternatives to Baby Cat. Again, it is a Dominique Ropion creation. He also made Baby Cat. He also made Eau d'Audacity and fragrances that smell remarkably the same. The opening of Vanagloria, a lot of people hated. I actually thought it smelled good. It smelled to me like pineapple sugar. You dipped an incense stick, like a Palo Santo stick, in pineapple sugar or pineapple syrup, and you lit it on fire, so that smell. It was very smoky, and it had a smokiness to it, very smoky. I didn't get a ton of pineapple. I got a teensy bit of pineapple, but I just liked Eau d'Audacity and Baby Cat better, but Vanagloria is great if you can't. It's actually much more affordable than Eau d'Audacity, and it's much easier to get than Baby Cat. So it is a fantastic alternative to Baby Cat as long as you can take that little bit of kind of a smoky opening that's quite prominent in the beginning, but again, a beautiful leathery suede incense, leather, vanilla, spicy perfume. Love that profile. The next one was called Remarkable People. This one is by Eldo, and it has notes of grapefruit, champagne, cardamom, pepper, curry tree. That's interesting. Sandalwood, jasmine, labdanum. I actually think it smelled good. It was a good smelling perfume. I don't think I have anything that smelled similar to it. It was fresh. It was like a barbershop-y, it was like a citrusy barbershop-y type fragrance that leaned a little bit masculine. I liked the grapefruit note in it was very nice. But it just wasn't me, and I never, ever, ever, ever wore it. So that one went goodbye, and I also think it's discontinued. So I don't like to keep discontinued. No, it looks like it's pretty easy to get, but I just was never wearing it. I think it would smell nice on somebody else. I just said goodbye to it. Now I ended up decluttering some fragrances with the note of rice after I did my big rice video, because I realized I just kind of kept the vast majority and got rid of the ones that I was not wearing. One of them is called Venenum, I want to say it's 21, no, Venenum 32 by La Daison. A beautiful milky sandalwood fragrance with, there was something rice-y in it. I want to say like rice milk, something like that. This was the perfect example of a perfume that was perfect, was 95% perfect. And then there was something in there that I just couldn't take. And I'm looking at the notes, and it says spicy notes, but I'm pretty sure I got something along the lines of curry. And I love baking spices. I hate spice rack spices. Those have no business in my perfumery. Coumarin, anything like that. Ew, coumarin, turmeric, in my opinion, ruin fragrances, at least for me. For me, that is. They make them smell like a locker room and not like a beautiful perfumed water. But that was a lovely, lovely perfume, and that one I did let go. And the next two were from Rosendo Mateu. Number 5, I've said I've decluttered that, and number 6. Number 5, to me, I mean, I was one of those people that just got burned tires. I mean, it has a kind of a sexy, spicy musk and amber, but it was just overwhelmingly, I could not get that out of my brain. Once it hit, I know it's like, this is one of those fragrances, like many, is a love or a hate, and you either fall in the camp that it's the best fragrance you ever smelled, it's a lifer, or like me, you smell burned tires, burned rubber. I smelled burned rubber. Now, number 6, Rosendo Mateu, number 6 was very, very pretty. It is a jasmine forward fragrance that I really liked. I thought it was pretty. I bought it and I think I wore it 1 or 2 times, even though I thought it was beautiful perfume. Very, very strong on the jasmine. In the end, it was just really too strong of a jasmine for me. But if you are a jasmine lover, that fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. Very, very well done. Had a nice little ambery sweetness. Lovely floral. I think Pat would probably love it if he smelled it on me. It just really wasn't me. Even though it was a beautiful fragrance, it wasn't really a Chris fragrance. It wasn't something that I wanted to reach for, so then that one left. Okay, so some Parfums de Marley fragrances I bought. I bought them and I never loved them, but I bought them to kind of complete my collection, my Parfums de Marley collection, which is a stupid reason to buy a fragrance. Don't ever do that. And I liked them when I tested them. So Athalia is a iris forward fragrance with a lot of musk. I didn't even know it had orange blossom. I'm looking at the notes. It just was too powdery, and I was getting I thought it was pretty. It was pretty. But in the end, it just reminded me too much of a lovely, like a baby powder or a baby wipe, which I have really fond memories of, and I think baby wipes smell very, very good. But it was baby wipes plus powder. And it's just, I found that it was not something I ever was reaching for or was ever wanting to wear. I've never shown it on this channel because I just never wanted to wear it, never did. And so it sat in my closet and never got worn and gathered dust. So similar story with another Parfums de Marley, Safanad. Safanad is one that I know a lot of you love, 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 you know, that orange blossom, very heavy orange blossom, sweet fragrance, and I love orange blossom, and I have a ton of orange blossom fragrances that are sweet and gourmand, like that I absolutely love. I could just list them off right now. Guimauve de Noël, you know, Perdizione, if I'm saying that correctly. You know, Love Don't Be Shy is going to be in the mix. Cintra. I found Safanad too overwhelming, like too syrupy. I love a sweetness. I love a vanillic sweetness. I love a marshmallowy sweetness. I love a lighter sweetness. Syrupy sweetness where it smells like literal orange blossom syrup. It's just not my thing. It almost kind of grinds on my teeth. I don't like it. And so I found myself reaching for all my other orange blossom fragrances except that one. I don't even think I wore it one time. So that one went goodbye. I mean, I have more orange blossom fragrances than I know what to do with. I should do a video on orange blossom fragrances, but I just was never wearing it. It's a lovely fragrance, and I can see why a lot of people love it. The next one that's going to be controversial is, I know that's loved by a lot of people, and it is by Kilian. It's called Rolling in Love, one of their more popular fragrances. There was something, you know, this is an almondy iris perfume with some white flowers, some musk. I just don't know why. It was probably the almond. The almond just didn't, it was more of a green almond. The almond and maybe it was the almond and tonka bean, just didn't get along, and I just didn't think it was a pretty perfume on me. I do like iris. Actually, I would say I think iris is a very pretty flower. I like almost all flowers. This one, it just didn't smell good on me. And I love an almond note. I love when almond's powdery. I love when it's dusty. I love when it's marzipan-like. I love it when it's sweet. I don't love it when it's green usually. And to me, the almond came out green on me. Okay, it looks like I've got 2 more on my list here. The next one was another one that got decluttered after my rice video, and this was called Sunday by Ariel Shoshana. And the bummer is that I actually was on a wait list to get this. I waited forever to get it. It has rice and matcha and milk and mate tea, cardamom, a little bit of coconut. The problem with this is that when you add some teas and milk, when you add tea and milk and sometimes some citruses, it can smell curdled, like metallic and curdled. And this had this bordering on a curdled metallic vibe, particularly in the hot weather. Boy, man, I wore it once in the hot weather and it was almost like there was no going back. In the cold weather, it smelled great. It smelled like a bubble tea. I absolutely love it, but it was ruined by me wearing it in the hot weather. And I just found that I wasn't reaching for it as much. I have other tea fragrances that I like, even though this one's good in the cold weather. Just don't wear it in the warm weather, at least according to me. And the mate made it a little bit better. The matcha was good. The mate, I think it was the mate. Now, matcha can be earthy too. I think it was the mate that made it better because I have both teas in real life. So one of those teas with the milk was a little bit too much for me. The next one is called Blanc Poudre, and that one got decluttered after I did my rice video and I looked at the fragrances that I had, all my rice perfumes, which I have 3 million gajillion, if you saw that video, and I just took the fragrances that I wasn't wearing and decided I was going to let those go. This one was one of them, even though I think it's a really, really pretty perfume. This Blanc Poudre by Healy smells like the best fresh laundry. And it's not fresh laundry as in laundry detergent. This is like laundry that you just cleaned, and it didn't have a ton of laundry detergent, so it wasn't overly perfumey, and then you dried it out in the sun. I know exactly what that smells like because my grandmother, who lived in Arizona, it was pretty much hot year round, and when we were out there in the summer, it was boiling hot. I would help her hang up the laundry to dry. That's how she dried her clothes in the summertime. And when you would pull that down, it just smelled so fresh and clean. It smelled like the sun, fresh and clean, but without being overly perfumey. And that is exactly what Blanc Poudre smelled like, but add a little bit of like rice powder and musk. It's a beautiful perfume. It's an absolutely beautiful perfume. I can see it being somebody's signature scent, very work appropriate, easy to wear. I just wasn't reaching for it, wasn't pulling for it. The next one is called Santal Calling. I have my little list right here. List. Santal Calling by Ex Nihilo. Pretty perfume. I bought that blindly, stupid. It's a gorgeous perfume. The reason why I got rid of it fairly quickly, because it just it had terrible longevity on me. It's a sandalwood, it's a milky sandalwood perfume. I want to say with some iris, very, very lovely, a creamy, sweet, lactonic, a well done sandalwood, lactonic sandalwood, which never went sour. I can't imagine that going sour on anybody. It had a nice sweetness without being gourmand, a light iris note, a little bit powdery, maybe a little bit of spices. I'm thinking nutmeg off the top of my head. Very, very beautiful perfume. It was very translucent. There's nothing wrong with a translucent perfume, and there's a time and a place. I don't want to wear a beast mode everywhere. You shouldn't wear beast mode everywhere. You don't want to wear it out to dinner, to work, things like that, crowds. So translucent perfumes that are on the lighter side, they have their time and their place. But this one was just like, I would spray like 8 times and I could not smell it. And so for something that's super expensive that I just can't smell, I mean, I'm talking an hour or two, those go. I don't mind the ones that are short lasting, like 4 hours. I don't mind that at all. But 1 to 2 hours is kind of my cutoff, especially if they're expensive. So the next ones I have in front of me, these are heading over to Mercari as we speak. One of them is in the milk line. Now, I love commodity milks. I think they're gorgeous. I love that yummy, delicious, caramel, vanilla, milky caramel, vanilla fragrance that I have a ton in that category. I don't need all of them. And I have 2 milks. I have this one, which is the bold, and I have expressive. And they're both pretty, but they're too similar to keep. I think it's like just go through the discovery set, choose the one you like, and just keep one because there's just too much overlap. This one has more woods, and I want to say the expressive version had It was a little bit sweeter to me. I kind of picked up a little bit more of that tonka, and it was just a little bit sweeter. This was woodier. So if you're looking for the more masculine version of milk, or the most masculine version, it's this, because it's woody and it lasts long, but too similar to keep. Gorgeous perfume. And I also got Joyosa, so I needed to declutter something because I had too many in that category. The next one is a perfume I bought, and it's like me, it's my childhood in a bottle. It's Accident à la Vanille, like creme de la berry. This one smells, if you know, you know. It smells exactly like Captain Crunch berries that you had a bunch of, you poured a bowl, you poured a ton of milk in, and then you got distracted as a kid, because all kids get distracted, and you went somewhere for like an hour or two and left your cereal to marinate in the milk for like an hour, and you came back and it kind of smelled, it tasted like this smelled. So this is milky Captain Crunch. It has a lot of strawberry, maybe a little bit of blueberry. It smells very good when I spray it on something, or when I smell it from the nozzle. I love the way it smells. I just found, and my daughter, I remember my daughter coming in my room and spraying it, and she smelled fun. I just like the memory more than wanting to smell like this. I just found myself, even though I enjoyed the scent and it's fun and nostalgic, I didn't want to smell like that. I didn't want to wear it. And I never bought the original Accident à la Vanille, which is a beautiful, gorgeous, it is the most beautiful buttery vanilla. My mouth is watering. I never got that. I should have got that one instead of this one, because that one is something I would want to wear more than this, even though it's fun and nostalgic. And if you like, you know, that Captain Crunchy, you like that berry smell with a nice milky, creamy, sweet vanilla, this is really good. And then the last one I have here is one by Bodacia, the Victorious, and this is called Ardent. This is one of the few perfumes I bought a backup of because it was very hard to find. I even bought my backup from Harrods, where I spent like $57 to ship. It was crazy. I was in that, oh my gosh, I need to have a bottle and I need to have a backup. Now, when I first got it, I loved it. I thought it was very, very pretty. This is a saffrony rose patchouli fragrance. It smells very similar to Noir de Noir by Tom Ford. I just preferred this version better. It had more rose. Noir de Noir smelled like mushroom funk. It was too funky for me. There was too much funk in there. This one smelled more perfumey. I enjoyed the saffron. The patchouli was nice. I just find myself, I found this is a very elegant perfume. It's a very dressed up perfume. And I just find that I don't get dressed up a ton. I mean, I go to work every day and I dress nicely, but I don't really dress to the nines. To me, this is a fragrance that you wear when you are dressed to the nines. It's very, very fancy. And I just find that when I want to wear a rose perfume, I am reaching for something either very ambery, that has an ambery sweetness like Lettre de Pushkar, which I love right now, or something fresh and light, like Crease Dior. So those are the two type of roses I'm pulling for, not deep and gothic. This is a deep gothic rose, beautiful. Haven't been reaching for it. So that's just my short list right now of fragrances that I have let move on. There will be more to come in the future, and if you like my content and you like my videos and you're not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would join my YouTube community and subscribe. And if you also like the video, it would be great if you could hit the thumbs up button. I know sometimes I forget, even when I'm watching a video and I love, and I sometimes scramble, go back and hit the thumbs up, because it really does help somebody's video. It helps the algorithm, and it helps push the video out to other people, to new people. So thanks guys for sticking around. Thanks for watching my content. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any content you want to see me do in the future, let me know down below. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.